Welcome to X to Interact.
X.
X to interact.
X to interact.
You're listening to X to Interact.
Welcome to episode 42 of X to Interact. My name is Gaff, and I'm here with Sam, Steven, Eric, and our special guest, Matt Grover. Today, we're going to address perhaps the biggest news story in video game history, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which first broke on the morning of Tuesday, January 18th. All five of us here have some opinions on the matter, very strong opinions, I would bet, and not all of them are in agreement. Regardless, discussion is important, especially for an event such as this that affects gamers everywhere, and this is our chance to clear the air and let our thoughts be known. But first, let's be fun and talk about what we've been playing. First up, our guest, Matt Grover. What have you been playing?
So I have two games I want to talk about. Last week, like Thursday or something, I finished Life is Strange: True Colors. Have any of you played that yet?
I have.
I
loved it.
I had been like pushing off, waiting for really just a sale because I was like, $60 is it's a little much. But in the end, I didn't regret it at all because that game was just phenomenal. Like there were multiple points where the story like had me literally drop my jaw, and I was like, I did not see this coming. Not emotionally prepared for this, and I don't know where we're going from here. And I think they did it all really well. Life is Strange has always been good with like characters and story and player choice and stuff like that. And that's great. So if you haven't played that, highly recommend.
I absolutely love the LARP in that game. Like I've never LARPed in real life.
Yeah.
But just the way it like turned it into a turn-based strategy game for a little bit was really, really cool.
Yes, I agree. And then I've also been just going back and playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm starting to just treat that as my game in between games. That way I don't get like burnt out on it. That way I can just push forward and keep playing.
See, that sounds like a really smart thing to do with that game. That is not what I did with that game. When I played that game, I was in the grind, and man, I can't believe I didn't burn myself out. But yeah, that's a great game as well.
It is. But yeah, that's me. That's what I've been playing right now. I'm gonna play probably Pokemon Legends Arceus is the next one I'm gonna pick up.
Nice.
Next
Let us know
That's
how
what
it
I'm
goes.
talking about.
I'm very curious because I won't be buying it day one, but I'm very
No.
interested in it.
I will say I've been looking at the leaks. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I'm pretty interested in picking it up, and it seems like everyone else is as well, from what I've seen online.
Yeah.
A lot of intrigue. But anyway, Eric, you're talking. What have you been playing?
So this week I haven't been really playing much. I've been a little busy, just like managing the podcast and the back end and stuff like that. I made us a new website, pod page at xinteract.com, I think, or whatever. I don't know. I'll put it in the description or whatever. But other than that, a little bit of Final Fantasy 13. I played a little bit yesterday. Still going through that game. Haven't really gotten far into that. But I have been playing a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And Gaff, you know what I'm talking about. It was rumored to drop this week, and it didn't that day. And I gotta say, I'm hooked into it a little bit, but I am still cautious because it is free to play. And right now they're giving you a lot of gems up front to pull packs early. But I can guarantee you, this is Konami, by the way, that later on they're gonna like draw you up, and you're gonna start paying for more gems. So it's fun right now, but later on down the line, I don't know.
These are the Pachinko machine guys. Watch out.
Yeah. Pachinko machines and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are their cash cow, that's for sure. Yeah,
Not
so
Castlevania, not Metal Gear, unfortunately.
nope. Unless you want Castlevania NFTs,
Ugh.
Unless you want that.
Yeah. But yeah, Master Duel is pretty fun. Ranked mode is definitely sweaty right now because everyone is trying to get up there, and you're getting paired with like all the tryhards, and it's hard because I'm not the best at Yu-Gi-Oh! I like playing those fun decks, but when you get paired up with those meta decks where they summon like 5 monsters in their first turn, you're just like, well, what the fuck can I do?
Solitaire. That's the joke
Solitaire.
that is in the community.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Sam, what do you got going on this week?
I've just been playing lots of Dragon Age. I don't think I played anything else, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to think. But yeah, just been deep into Dragon Age Inquisition, trying to finish it off. getting burnt out on it slowly. I don't
Ouch,
think that's
man.
slowly, pretty
What's your
quickly.
One of your favorite game series.
I mean, kind of. Like, Mass Effect is far and away
Well,
way
yeah.
better than Dragon Age. And I like Dragon Age, but there's other game series I like more. Elder Scrolls I like more. Elder Scrolls I like. No. Yeah, other games. I don't know. God of War I like. I like the God of War
Okay.
series more than Dragon Age.
Wow. Okay.
But I like Dragon Age. But yeah, it's got the same thing with Assassin's Creed where you get burnt out because the traversal is like so inconvenient, and like every 5 seconds you come across an inconvenience, and it's just like, oh my god, just let me climb up this damn hill so I can get to this thing instead of having to walk all the way around this mountain to find the path to it. It's like, just let me climb. That's all I want from the next Dragon Age is a climbing mechanic where I can climb anything I want.
Or give me a
Well, I would say,
Grimoire.
like-
Kind of like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, with big games like Dragon Age, there has to be some kind of like climbing or gliding or something
Yeah.
at this point, because that's just modern open
Yeah.
world
I mean,
at this point.
yeah, my ideal next game wouldn't even have these big open areas. It would be a little bit more linear with the missions, because that's what I like. That's why I love Mass Effect 2 and 3. And the first one can get a little bit boring at times.
Mm-hmm.
And Andromeda has the same problem as Dragon Age. Dragon Age Inquisition's better than Andromeda, though. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. But
Damn.
I don't know. I have the last DLC to do. It's the best DLC. I'm excited to play it again, but that's what I got going on.
Steven.
Yeah, off the coattails of that, and you guys earlier, I've been playing some Yu-Gi-Oh as well. On and off. I said to Eric earlier in the week that my taking a break off apparently is just playing a bunch of every small game that I can think about that doesn't like bother me to play at the time. So
Yeah.
let's see. We have Yu-Gi-Oh on there. We have Slay the Spire on there. Which continues to be my I'm tired, but I don't want to stay up too long, but also I will stay up too long playing this game if I think I'm going to get it next run. And that screws me a lot, but I still love that game. Like, Slay the Spire is probably my favorite card video game, if that makes sense. Because
Until Marvel Midnight Suns comes out. that
God,
is.
if that
Yeah.
keeping that as if that's good, okay, then that might be something.
I'm not making that. I didn't imagine that, right?
No, I thought
they
it was,
announced it some kind of
You're
card-based-
correct.
Okay.
Is that a card game?
Yeah.
It's like a
Yes.
Or something like that.
card-based.
I thought it was like
XCOM,
Okay.
Okay.
like
it's like XCOM.
Well, that would
Right?
be cool then. That would
but
pull
each
me in.
attack is a card.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
okay.
both.
Mm.
It seems confusing, but
I was going to say
hopefully-
XCOM's not card based, right?
No,
Yeah.
but it's a
Not
whole
you.
beast. I don't know. I played that. I tried to play Nobody Saves the World on and off, and then I got discouraged because the reviews weren't amazing like I thought they were going to be, and I played a demo earlier, but I've yet to get into that. I'm meaning to do like 7 other games. God, what did I play? I played some Halo Infinite. That's about it. And then,
Really?
yeah, just sweaty ranked for hours, probably 4 or 5 hours. And then, VR on Friday with my family. We played a game called Acrons, Acrons. So the idea is that the person wearing the VR headset is this giant tree, right? And your job is to keep these squirrels who are players on their phones, playing on their phones. Anyone can join from anywhere, with like a room code similar to Among Us or something, right? And you're keeping them from getting these golden acorns and bringing them back to the start of the level. And you can pick the squirrels up and throw them across the screen, throw them off the level. The squirrels all have different abilities. It's actually fun to play the squirrel, even if you're not in VR. So that was a really great time.
It sounds like a really fun party game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, for sure. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, Acrons. Yeah, if you have a Quest, or I think it's on Quest and pretty much any VR, but yeah, it's a really good time. Freaking hysterical with my family. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it for me. Oh, sorry, I played some Dead Cells again. I'm a big roguelike player, so I can't get enough of them. But yeah.
Steven, you said Nobody Saves the World didn't review that well, but it's gotten you off to a nice 10-point lead in our fantasy critic.
It did.
It got you 10 points.
It should
That's
be
pretty-
higher. It should be higher, Sam.
Got an
It's
80.
solid.
Honestly,
an
anything
80.
that gets me 10, I'll be okay in my
Yeah,
league.
that's
Like,
that's
I just,
double digits.
Yeah.
Is it going to
Like-
allow you to beat me? Probably not, because somehow you guys let me get Elden Ring and God of War.
Hey
I don't
man,
know.
don't sleep on MLB, all right?
MLB.
and the best yearly release.
Boy. For your sake, Eric, I hope it's just a 10 out of 10, you know?
As for me, I played 3 games this past week. A smidgen of Overcooked, because my girlfriend wanted to play, so we played. And obligatory mention to Halo Infinite. I finished the battle pass, level 100. I got everything.
It's about time, dude.
So you just done with the game then? You can uninstall
I'm
it,
free.
right?
No, I'm kidding. My girlfriend still likes to play, so I'll split screen with her whenever she wants to play. And I'll play for the events. Like right now, we got Cyber Showdown. The Mohawk is at the end of that one, and I want
Wait.
that too.
Does Halo Infinite have split screen multiplayer?
Yes, it does,
Yep.
just not for campaign.
Oh, I had no idea. Awesome.
Yeah, do you like the new mode? Do you like the
Attrition,
eliminate-
I love
yeah.
it.
I love that new mode. Okay, sorry.
But it is the mode that is, if you have a bad teammate, that is the mode that is most obvious in.
Oh yes.
Because even for like Slayer or SWAT, whatever, if you got a bad teammate, you can just pop off and carry your team. But if you got someone else draining all your lives, it can be a detriment, and it makes it much harder.
I'm calling for them to put it in the ranked playlist modes, because that would be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I hope they're making it temporary, which is like for now, like they're making it temporary, which is a
I
shame.
think it's a
but
testing bed, right? For them to test new
Yeah.
modes or these events. So hopefully they can bring it in more permanent, because that's a really good.
And just give more variety.
Yes, that is badly needed. I'll admit. And then after that, like Eric said and Steven, Yu-Gi-Oh! I built my Cyber Dragon deck. I am actually winning in ranked duels. I pulled off a very satisfying win last night. I'm very proud of. And I still haven't spent a dime on that game.
Nice.
And I refuse to. I will not spend money on this game.
Didn't
you
you
sure
spend a
about
lot
that?
IRL on Yu-Gi-Oh cards though?
I did
Okay,
do that. So
okay.
it's a balancing
Yeah.
act.
He already
You know
spent
what they
it
have to
once,
do?
He doesn't need to do it again.
I refuse
what
to
they
pay
could
for.
do?
I'm not paying for cards that I already own in real life. I'll tell you
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
Yeah. They should do that thing Pokemon does, where you buy a booster pack and they give you a code for the
Yeah.
online TCG. They should do that.
I
They
wish.
used to do that for the Game Boy Advance Yu-Gi-Oh games. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would spend hours.
Oh
just
my
playing, like,
god, yeah, me too.
Yeah, the thing is that like the code's printed directly on the card. So if they do that in this game, you can just kind of look up online to see what the card code is and then do it.
Yeah.
They probably have to do like what Pokemon does and do the dedicated
Randomized.
card code in the booster packs or whatever.
I wish Magic
Yeah.
would do that, because I love playing MTG Arena. It's a money suck, so
So that's what all the 5 of us have been playing. It sounds like it was a lighter week for gaming this week, but I
mean-
think that's okay because we got. Oh, what's up?
I was gonna say it's lighter week because of this news story coming up.
yep.
Absolutely, I was just gonna say that because we got a monster of a news piece this week to discuss. Perhaps the biggest piece of news that has in the last decade, at least, that I can think of. So initially, I want us to get on an emergency podcast session on Tuesday night to discuss this news and strike while the iron was hot. That didn't end up happening, but I will admit now, I think this episode will turn out for the better because of it. Because over time, a lot more follow-up news has come up, and the general discussion around the topic has matured and settled. Lines have been drawn. People have more informed opinions now, and I also think we've all gotten a chance to form our opinions properly instead of being caught up in the hype. Me certainly, I was very caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
I'm still hyped, but I've tamed myself a little bit. So before I even like get to the news of it, I want to ask you guys, where were you when Microsoft bought Activision? Because I woke up at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I was looking at my friend's group chat, that we normally talk in, and my friend sent in a link to a tweet. I clicked that tweet, and it was Xbox announcing Microsoft bought Activision, and I jumped out of bed. It was very accurate to the short I posted on YouTube, by the way. We should give it a watch. What was your guys' experience?
So let me go first because I was the one who broke the story to everyone in the Discord. So I'm just going about my day normally. Like, I posted. Gaff asked me, like, why are you up at 5 in the
I
morning?
was gonna say
And I'm
it's
like,
important to
"I'm at
note
gym."
the time, Eric. Let's get a timestamp here.
Yeah, so I woke up and I was like, oh shit, I saw the Kingdom Hearts news with the cloud stuff in the thing. I'm like, oh, that's probably a good news story for me today. And then I went to the gym, went to work. So like at around, let me see here. I'm trying to figure out what the timestamp was on the Discord here. So like around, let me see here. Like around 8 o'clock, there was oh, my camera froze by the way because someone's calling me. 1 second. We'll figure that out later. But
Edit it out.
We're fine. We're fine. We'll go with it live.
Finish your story first. Yeah.
Yeah. So trying to
Okay.
think here.
Cool.
Yeah, because I use my disclaimer. I use my phone as the camera, and when someone calls me, my camera freezes, so that's why it happens.
On D&D.
Yeah, I really should do that to be honest. But yeah. So then in that morning, like at 8 o'clock, I'm at work, and it's like 8 o'clock, 8:20, 8:10. I don't know. Jason Schreier puts like a tweet saying that the Wall Street Journal that reports that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard, and I was like, what? And I was like, this has got to be like a rumor, right? And then literally like a few minutes later, the official post from Xbox comes out, and I'm just like, holy shit! Am I actually seeing this right now? Like, what the fuck? This is like the biggest news ever, really. And I was just like going crazy. I'm like, what the fuck what does this mean for Call of Duty? What does this mean for Microsoft? What does it mean for just so much shit going on in my head? And like that was my morning that Tuesday, and like my productivity went down at work that day. After what I
Oh
was
yeah,
saying.
I could not pay attention to class that day. Mac
I had to go to work and teach that day, and like
Oh.
I woke up and I saw the news, and that's all I was thinking about the entire day at work while I was teaching. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like as soon as like I was done with like the lesson in each class, I would just go to my computer, open Twitter, and be like, okay, what's the new discourse? Like what's going on? What does this actually mean? Like, because this is insane. First of all, it's an insane amount of money. Second of all, it's an insane amount of like potential change for the industry, not just in this acquisition, but like, and we'll get into this later, I'm sure, but like what it means in the next 5-10 years, or even just the next year alone. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, I woke up, saw it on Twitter, didn't believe it for a full like 5 minutes, even though I was just scrolling through everyone saying, this is real, this is real, this is real. And yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Do you teach business, by the way? Because now you can just tell your kids, "Hey, do you want to talk about antitrust?"
I wish. I used to teach current events, and I totally would have just pivoted to making that the lesson for the day. And then, yeah.
Sam.
I was definitely sleeping when it happened, and I woke up
at 12 that day, right?
Yeah, as one does on a weekday. I woke up at noon, and and yeah, I saw it in the Discord, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Everybody, like, there's like 75 new messages in the news channel. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I have to like scroll to find what's going on, and then I finally see the post that Eric put in there, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's no good. My initial reaction was pretty negative.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm still pretty negative on it. But I was like, fucking A, that is huge news. Yeah.
Steven?
So I was asleep when it actually happened.
Yeah, you were.
I was probably up a few minutes after he sent that link, honestly. And I was like, no, I'm just sleeping. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. It's one of those weird dreams that's like too close to reality a little bit, but just has the one little detail that's not quite right. And that was that detail, right? I was like, no fucking way. They spent $70 billion. Whatever. That's not real. That's time to go back to sleep.
It wasn't. They spent $68.7 billion.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
They
initial
should have
reports
just
were like
added
7 billion.
0.3. They should
Yeah.
have 59
Like,
please.
They want exact
69
change.
billion just for the
Losers.
culture of it all.
They brought
Kodak
open
couldn't even get that right.
their
Fucker.
cars of cash right to straight to Kodak and was like, get the hell out. Anyways, no, I was I guess sleeping when it broke, but Eric, like the busybody he is in the morning, broke the news, and I was like, no way, man. And then I was like, yeah, Death's Door on Game Pass. All right.
Yeah.
That too.
When I posted in the
There's some
news
Game Pass
channel, it was
news
like,
as well.
I mean,
Oh.
that was the best news that happened that day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
'cause,
the
like,
biggest, but the best.
Yeah, I woke
Yeah.
up that morning. I was looking for the news on Twitter. I'm like, oh, Kingdom Hearts Cloud version demos, okay. Event coming in April, okay, sure. New Game Pass update, all right. And then Activision Blizzard being acquired by Microsoft. Excuse me? And I was like, what the fuck? I have to like wake everyone up. So I like pinged everyone here. Well, like no one was awake either. So I was like
Dude.
waiting.
Yeah,
For everyone to
no,
wake up and be like,
yeah.
yo, what the hell?
I gotta wake everyone up.
Guys.
The town crier.
posted-
Everyone.
I'll let you know. If that woke me up at 8 a.m., I would have been pissed.
Man.
So,
Yeah, well, it was a busy news day that day, that's for sure.
all right. So now let's actually get into the meat of it. So first I'm gonna give us some context, lay out the details and facts of what happened first. So I'm
What
going
are
off
those
from
facts?
giving you the facts. Going off from The Verge here, with all these preliminary details. So Activision Blizzard was acquired for $68.7 billion, which is nearly 10 times what ZeniMax was purchased for. With this deal, Microsoft will acquire titles such as Call of Duty, StarCraft, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, Hearthstone, Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and many more. Microsoft aims to bring as many titles as they can to Game Pass on console and PC while this deal is being completed, which is expected to be Q3 of 2022, barring any intervention from government organizations who preside over these dealings. Microsoft also said they're committed to our journey for inclusion in every aspect of gaming among both employees and players, addressing all of the controversies and lawsuits that are currently happening with Activision Blizzard. Then I'm going to go to GameIndustry.biz because their story was about the exact status of Bobby Kotick. Kotick is expected to leave Activision after the deal closes, according to an insider report, which is a very important detail.
Yeah, there was real quick. There was like a lot of back and forth on that going like throughout the entire week, really, about like is Kotick leaving, is he not leaving? There was like a lot of reports saying one way, one saying the other way. But it does seem that he is expected to leave by the time this deal does
That seems like the
close.
consensus now. Yes. And finally, go back to The Verge. So, Xbox, they addressed what's going to happen with PlayStation, and obviously Nintendo and PC. Not PC, sorry, Nintendo. So to address the concerns of exclusivity in terms for Sony players, Phil Spencer took to Twitter with a statement, and I quote: "Had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship." End quote. It's a very carefully worded statement, but regardless, if you take it at face value, Phil Spencer is trying to ease the worries of PlayStation owners. At the very least, this means there is a dialogue between the two gaming giants, and hopefully it all ends up an amicable agreement and everyone is happy.
Can I just say, as a PlayStation owner, that did not ease my mind. Mostly because I don't give a shit about the exclusives. Because I don't care about any Activision Blizzard games. Except, like, Diablo, which I'm going to play on PC anyway. That, like, I don't know. That's not my worry in this whole thing, I'll just say. Like, I don't give a shit about
Okay,
any
we'll
of
get-
the
we'll get to that.
exclusivity,
We'll
but
get there. We'll
We'll
get
I just
there.
want to say that.
But I
So-
kind of agree with Sam. This statement means nothing because like he kind of
Like,
said the same thing for Bethesda last time, and Starfield's exclusive to Xbox. So this is just like, as much as I like Phil Spencer, this is just PR talk right now.
Yeah, I just kind of rolled my eyes when I read this tweet. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm concerned about right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let me tell you, my friends,
That's what Sony ponies are concerned about, but
my friends who are
know, whatever.
heavy Call of Duty players, you don't even know. They are very much concerned about this aspect. So to each their own. Okay, so before we talk about, games that are coming to Xbox and Game Pass or whatever, let's talk about, I guess, what really matters, which is the acquisition itself, the morals and ethics of a consolidation such as this, and what this means for the culture in Activision, and how that will change going forward. So I'll say this. Upon reading this news, my instinct is to feel good about it. Microsoft. Okay, first of all, like, we haven't heard so far among all like the allegations that have come out so far. Nothing so far seems to have come out of Microsoft. Right now, it seems that they're a decent place to work at, and I've heard anecdotes about former employees at Microsoft, and they said it's a very fine place to work at. Alana Pierce being one of them, and the bar can't be much lower than Activision. Maybe Riot Games. I don't know. Who knows? It has to be better. It has to be. And my hope is that when this deal closes, Microsoft can clean house at Activision, throw out all those monsters, and kick them to the curb, and provide a safe and healthy environment for Activision, a place where they actually want to work at and make games, a place where they feel happy. I truly believe and hope that is what's going to happen. And that is what, like, that I guess that's the core of my stance on this, is that I think Activision will become a better workplace after this. What about you guys?
I think so too. I think we're about to see a big change over the course of the next year and a half over workplace, like how good it is in the workplace in the games industry. Partially because of this deal, partially because of, is it Raven Software?
Raven.
They're
Raven.
QA, yeah.
They're going to unionize, right?
Yes.
They just voted to unionize, I believe. So those two things kind of happening in conjunction with each other. I think we're going to start to see a lot more game developers with the bad. Everyone thinks badly about them. I can't think of the word right now. Reputation. There it is.
Track record, yeah.
With the bad reputations, I think they're going to start to kind of tug at their collars a little bit, because they're facing both unionization and potential buyouts from like Microsoft or other people wanting to kind of force them to improve and force them to be better, which I think is good. I think it is good that we're about to see, theoretically, this change. It's been needed for a long time, and I just hope it actually happens the way we all hope it does.
And
Yeah, so one of my
Yeah.
positive things on my list here, I put culture change, but it's with a question mark, because nothing's guaranteed. It's one company swallowing another company. Like, it's not going to solve itself overnight just because someone else is in charge. Like, I feel like, yeah, we can blame Kotick, but I feel like the problem is systemic. So just getting rid of him isn't going to solve everything.
Management.
Getting rid of a ton of people isn't just going to
Real
solve
quick.
everything. Like,
Didn't they just fire, like, I forget the exact number it was, but there was a story that came out recently that they got rid of a bunch of people who were problematic as well. So I think they are getting there, but Kotick is like, he is still responsible for not, he knew about this stuff and he didn't do anything
Yeah.
about it.
yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many questions with that. Like, yeah, you can say it will probably be better, but I don't think it's going to solve everything. I think there's probably other ways to go about it than corporate consolidation.
Well, and to add on, part of it is like Kotick is not the singular problem
Right.
at Activision
Yeah.
Blizzard.
of course
Yeah.
not.
He's the face of it, but like, yeah, we have to figure, like, not we personally, but like, we collectively have to figure out like, okay, who else sees things the way Kotick does, and what do we do about that? Like, do we just fire all of them, or do we like show them the better way? Like in a way, I don't know, but
I think
yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, I want to interject with that. It's like I think you need an unbiased third-party committee that's keeping these people in check and doing regular check-ins with these people to make sure, like, yo, you're upholding your side of it and you're reporting these things correctly. I don't know. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh.
Oh, we're just you finished all your thoughts already on that
I
part?
mean, with the culture,
Yeah.
like the questions with the culture, I just think it's like nothing's guaranteed. I think it probably will turn out better than it is now. I think it'd be hard to get worse.
Like I don't
But
believe Satya Nadella or Phil Spencer
Mhm.
are raping anyone
yeah,
Yeah,
or
well,
pretending to be women on
Uh,
conference
or
call.
hiding a suicide. Like,
yeah,
my God.
yeah, exactly. Like I think it's hard to be worse, but I also just think I don't know what it is because I'm just a lonely gamer. But I feel like there's a better way to go about this than one company just outright buying a company to solve an issue like this. I feel like
Agree.
the unionization with Raven Software, I think, is a good step. I'd rather see more of that than more companies buying other companies.
On that note, though, however, I have seen stuff about Microsoft being anti-union in the past.
Yeah.
That's kind of why they just hire contractors for 18 months, I believe.
Yep.
Or so what could happen is they just simply lay off those QA workers that unionized and just replace them with other people,
Which
because
would be
that's tech.
terrible.
There's a million people out of college looking for jobs.
Yeah.
That could be what happened, and I hope it doesn't.
That's a real bad PR move.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they'll announce it, everybody will bitch about it, and then they'll not do it.
Yep.
'Cause
And
that's
if
what
there's
they do with that
anything,
Games with Gold
if
thing.
there's one thing Phil Spencer is great at, it is PR.
it's PR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's not.
All right. I
Yeah,
want to give everyone a chance to give their thoughts before I go. So if anyone else has anything else to say, because I got a lot.
Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Yeah,
I got
you got
nothing.
Well, I think
Yeah,
Sam
go
was
ahead.
gonna say something real quick.
No, go ahead. I can't even remember what I was gonna say if I'm being honest. I'm
Okay.
just gonna
This is to
babble.
the culture side of it, right? Because I have the business side of it where it's a complete different thing.
Yeah, I think I was just gonna do all my most of my thoughts in one go. But if anyone if you want to interrupt me at any point, just go ahead. But
Okay. Yeah.
let me see. My thought on this, I want to say I'm 50-50 good and bad, but honestly, I'm kind of 70-30 good and bad, to be honest. So on the gamer side of me is excited that this is happening because oh yeah, we get more Game Pass games. That means I could save more money on stuff like that.
That was my other positive, was the Game Pass games.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, oh, me as a gamer, me who has an Xbox and a PlayStation, yeah, now I get to play all these games on Game Pass, more money for me. This is a big one for Xbox. But then on the same side, it's well, this is kind of taking away games from Sony as well. This is, oh man, there's just so much to go through with this. It's corporate consolidation, like you're saying, Sam. It's lessening the amount of developers out there in the industry. Even though I don't say it's a huge problem right now, it is still a corporate consolidation. And the bad part side of me is well, Microsoft has acquired companies in the past and they haven't done too well with them most of the time. Look at Skype. Look at what was the other streaming company? The one that closed, Mixer.
Mixer, yeah.
Yeah, Mixer got closed down from Microsoft.
Well, I'll throw it on the flip side. LinkedIn seems to be doing
LinkedIn is good.
pretty well.
Is good for what I'm saying, but Microsoft kind of has look at Rare too. I think Rare is doing fine now because they have CSEs, which is their most profitable game. But Lionhead Studios got shut down.
Which
I
is
said,
a past
Rare,
mistake they've acknowledged.
Yeah,
and they're
Rare
trying
is
not to
not.
repeat.
People expected them to make more Banjo-Kazooies. That didn't really happen, and I'm like I said, I'm just going to top of my head right now because I didn't do bullet points, which I should have done. But I feel like for me personally, it is a more positive because like you guys said, like the culture at Activision Blizzard will be a lot better now, hopefully. Kotick, even though he's gonna get a giant golden parachute, he's gonna be out of there. I feel like that's like the only way they could have gotten him out. Like at this point, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what else they could have done to get him out of there, to be honest.
Well,
Nothing.
speaking of Bobby Kotick, I only found this out yesterday, but there's this spreadsheet that exists out there on the internet that broke down the payouts for Bobby Kotick depending on the reason for his leave, and it goes all the way from death, illness to like termination without good cause due to a change of contract or something. I don't know. It was a lot of business terms, but let me tell you, like the minimum money his family or estate or whatever was going to get was 250 million. No, yes, 250 million. Going up to like 292 million. So no matter what, even if you shot the guy in the head, people related to him were gonna get more money than your family could ever dream of owning. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how great
we here at X to
Like I
Interact do
said,
not
I'm a teacher.
condone shooting people in the head.
Let's just we'll clear that out.
By the way,
sorry.
no matter how bad of a person you are, we do not condone shooting someone.
Bad simile. My bad. But that was the best and worst case scenario.
Yeah, but like continuing like what I was saying, like I feel like overall, in my opinion, I feel like it's a net positive, but at the same time, I can see the negatives everyone's talking about. Like in the positive, like now, like I said, all the devs are gonna be hopefully treated better. Activision Blizzard will be reporting directly to Phil Spencer. Like he said it in like the blog post or whatever they posted. Like they're gonna directly report to him as soon as this acquisition is done. Hopefully they can get those devs out of the Call of Duty dungeon now that they picked them up, because in the past few years, I would say Activision Blizzard hasn't really done anything besides Call of Duty. It's just been Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. And even
Like,
when
part
they
of it
did,
is why would they need to? But
yeah,
it still
exactly.
sucks.
That's a little
And, like,
devil
even
on the
though-
shoulder. Get out of here.
And like they had like great games in the past. Like they had the Crash Bandicoot 4 that just came out like a couple years ago. They had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. And from what I've heard, like they've done pretty well. But Activision still just put those companies into the dungeon. Vicarious Visions, I forget which game they did exactly, but like I think they were the Tony Hawk devs. Like correct me, someone if I'm wrong.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they got merged into Blizzard. Vicarious Visions, as we know it, does not exist anymore. They are Blizzard. And what did they do? They helped make the Diablo 2 remake.
Don't they have High Moon as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where they are at.
They did Transformers last I heard, and they were helping work on Destiny 2 for a while. And then
Yeah, I remember them and Vicarious Visions were working on Destiny, but after
they did.
I don't know where High Moon's at right now.
So arguably, sorry on that tangent, that's one of my things is like those studios deserve to create something more than be support Call of Duty studios, but that's just like my kind of something I feel like everyone feels, hopefully. So
yeah. And like on the Blizzard side, like Overwatch 2, from what we heard, is in trouble. World of Warcraft has been losing players. Diablo 4, we really don't know much about that still. Even Diablo Immortal, like we've seen that years ago. I've never heard anything about that ever since.
it's had some betas here and
I'm
there.
gonna say,
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in my opinion, Activision Blizzard needed to shake up because they were hurting bad, especially with all these allegations. And I feel like due to the allegations is the reason they were selling. Because like
Yes.
there was a story that got put out recently that Activision Blizzard wanted to sell. And I feel like me personally, I would have rather have Microsoft buy them than Facebook or Tencent or Apple or any one of those companies, because if they did, then there would be probably more issues than Microsoft just buying them up.
Yeah.
I feel like Sam is a big counter rebuttal to that lined up.
Yeah, I want to give someone else a chance to talk. I've been going on for a little bit. I'll go into my negatives later on, but yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want. I guess Microsoft out of those companies is the preferred one, I suppose. But like, I still just every time I see one company buying another company, it's just like, God damn it! Like,
Yeah, like best case scenario, it's still corporate consolidation.
Yeah, like, and I feel like third-party games are just slowly disappearing, and everything's just gonna become exclusive. And like, if you want to play a game, you're gonna have to make sure you have that like console.
Well, it's like
I mean, luckily in Microsoft's case, they're making things very accessible because the cloud. They put everything on PC. Uh, the Xbox. Who knows? They might come out with something you can just plug into your TV. And stream games off of. So luckily they are making everything pretty accessible from their standpoint, but man, it just I don't know. I against exclusives. I wish everything came to everything so that you could just buy a console and play everything on it if you wanted to. Um I wish it was the hardware that pushed the sales, not the games, I guess. Because I feel like that would I just feel like that would be better. That would push better tech, I guess. If these companies, were focusing on trying to which they are, like, still focusing on trying to outdo each other with like their console. Like, Xbox was all like the teraflops, but at the end of the day, they're almost the exact same thing. I just wish that was more of a focus than trying to get exclusive games, because I think exclusives are bad.
Not everyone can afford multiple consoles.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I am in a position, I'm lucky enough where I can, but there are a lot of people, most people, I would say, cannot afford multiple gaming consoles.
Well,
so, yeah.
I've heard this question discussed on multiple different podcasts already, but also, what about the people who just got a PS5 so that they can play Call of Duty for the next 8 years on PS5?
I know
And now
people
they're
who just do
like,
that.
yeah, like Microsoft has said they have a desire to keep it on PS5, but what does
fuck
that
does that
actually mean? Like,
I feel like
is
that
it
just
Game
means
Pass? Is
Warzone.
it just Warzone? Is it all of it?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't see it being all of it. There's no way.
I'm going to interject real quick there. Here's how I see it. I see Warzone on everything, right? That's going to make money the more platforms it's on because it's free to play. You get the big blockbuster titles like yearly, annual, with the zombies exclusive to Game Pass, kind of thing, right? And maybe Game Pass Ultimate is like where you're going to have to go to get the zombies DLC pass or something. That's how they push Ultimate, okay? And then hopefully, and this is my hope, is they're going to take one of those off and do it every other year and just have bolster Warzone a little bit, but take those studios off and maybe just like, all right, well, instead of taking the 3-year development time, maybe try a little more. I don't know. Feel less pressured.
I know what they're going to do. They're going to do Assassin's Creed. They're going to take a year off, change the formula completely, and the next Call of Duty is just going to be a massive open world game.
Okay.
Where you take out forts and climb towers to clear the map. It's going to be great.
They kind of
Call of
have
Duty
that
Infinite.
in this. They have an open world zombies one for like, don't they, Gaff? I forgot. It's like Outbreak or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's their open world that they're trying. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Okay, well,
that's good.
I almost agreed with Sam there until you went into the open world stuff.
Yeah, about
that was just a joke.
Honestly, the way I see is that Warzone is going to stay on everything.
Yeah,
that's already out. They're going to continuously update that. But whatever contractual agreements they have are up, and whenever the deal goes through,
that's Xbox.
I think after it's all done, it's all going to Xbox. I think you were making it a little too complicated there, Steven. I think this is just going to be the whole thing's just going to be on Game Pass. And even then, I think that once the deal goes through and they still have like obligations to put it on PlayStation, it's going to be on PlayStation for your $70 and then free on Game Pass on Xbox.
That's the thing. I don't think they're going to release on Game Pass the yearly releases like that.
I think they will, to be honest.
They will.
The only thing
you don't pay $70 billion.
I could see them doing the campaigns, but maybe the multiplayer you have to pay like an extra $20-$30, like as a DLC or as a I don't know.
Now you're certainly paying all these different tiers. Game Pass for campaign, and then multiplayer, and then Warzone somewhere else.
You think they'll make it easy?
the thing is with Game Pass, yes, everything is theoretically free to play or pay for the monthly rate or whatever, but a lot of those games have like the microtransactions and the DLCs that's where they're getting the money from. So I could see them doing like Call of Duty campaigns, free Game Pass, and when you open it, it gives you like, hey, if you also want multiplayer, it's just $20 or something like that. Maybe not exactly like that, but I could see them doing not the full game on Game Pass, but maybe just multiplayer or maybe just campaign.
Well,
Well, yeah,
if you,
mate.
if you look at Elder
Mm.
Scrolls Online, that's a perfect example of that.
And maybe I'm
Um,
wrong, but
You have the base Elder Scrolls Online, and then every single expansion is aside from the Game Pass subscription. So,
or even if
there's
they just do a battle pass that you pay for, that would make sense.
yeah. I think it'll all be on
Before
Xbox.
I still want to say something about the ethics of the acquisition itself.
Oh, can I just comment on Call of Duty then real quick? I don't.
Okay.
I believe that, like I said earlier, I think like once those deals are done, it's gonna be on Game Pass the whole thing, and I think they're gonna stop with the yearly releases. I think they're gonna do like one every 2-3 years, maybe keep. I think they're only more on the live service area instead of just churning one out every year. To be honest, like I feel like they're gonna stop with that. Because I remember hearing that when Modern Warfare, the reboot came out, everyone was saying like this could have been a game that lasted like 2-3 years, and instead we got what was it, Cold War and Vanguard, which people did not like as much.
Yeah, that is
I think you're
true.
right.
Even Call of Duty sold less this year.
Yeah,
It's
we're
been
still
selling
number 1
less.
and 2 though. Apparently,
Still number one, but the lead shrinks a tiny bit every year. I want to say, so Phil Spencer also said in an interview how he wanted to be the one to buy it because Microsoft understands games, Nintendo understands games, Sony understands games, but Google, Amazon, Tencent, they do not, and they could have also been in an alternate universe. They would have been the ones to buy Activision Blizzard, and then what would the world be like? What would the video game industry be like then, right? So, like, yeah, we mentioned before, I think this is the lesser of two evils or many evils. It's Microsoft buying Activision because, like Eric said, they were for sale. This was going to happen. Someone was going to buy it. Sony, maybe if they had the cash, they would have done it. Nintendo doesn't really do this thing, so leave them out of the conversation.
at
So
least not yet.
not yet, but
Oh, God.
Microsoft just seems like I'm happy they scooped it up because otherwise, I think the people working there would have been for the worse. Additionally, like we also touched before, creativity, Activision, they weren't doing shit. Last game they made was Overwatch. That was it. They haven't made anything else ever. No actual game ever since. We're going to get more games out of this than before, and that's why gamers, hopefully,
Yeah.
that's why I think gamers will win. From in that respect. Next point. Is this a monopoly? I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Definitely not.
No.
They are a third. Like I said, they are third in revenue behind Tencent and Sony. Sony.
Still.
And that's only after they merged with Activision. So it took a behemoth like that to put them in third place. So that's why I don't think this will get shut down by antitrust. I think this will go through. And speaking of third party, there's still Ubisoft, EA, Konami, Sega, Take-Two, and a litany of other
And that
publishers.
that's my biggest fear from this is that Sony's gonna feel like they need to respond, and they're gonna buy one of those, and I really hope they don't, because I don't want Sony to buy any of those companies. I want them to stay independent.
I'll be honest. If they buy Square Enix, I'm gonna be worried.
Oh God,
That'd
be so upsetting.
I saw a tweet this last week from like Daniel Ahmad, or maybe it was Jeff Grubb or Jeff Keighley or someone like that, where it was like, hey, in case you're wondering which major third parties are left, like here they are, and here's how much they cost. And I was like, that is so like menacing the way he phrased it. And it's true. Like, I think maybe Sony won't immediately clap back, but I think we are going to see some bigger acquisitions over the next couple years because of this.
And I think final
I
thing I
just
want
hope
to
someone
add.
buys Konami.
Yeah, you know what? I hope someone buys Konami. They need to.
Yeah, they need to do something.
Make a damn
Dissolve-
game.
They're
Give the
busy
property
with
to someone
Pachinko and
else.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Final thing I want to add is that this is capitalism. This is the world we live in, whether we like it or not. I mean, I think people. Okay, no, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but I don't. The rage directed at Microsoft, I think, is a little misplaced. I mean, this is just companies being companies, and this is a systemic issue that happens because of the way our economy works. And it's just that's just the food chain, and it's just
Let me
Yeah?
counter that with I don't think people should be celebrating this either. Like I don't think
Okay,
people
that's
should
fair.
be celebrating that
That's
Microsoft
fair.
is my like when I went on Twitter, I was like everybody seemed to be like, oh amazing. And then people are like, here's artwork for the acquisition. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You're making like artwork for one big ass company buying another big ass company? Like, why? Like it's
Hey, man.
not good. Like I don't think I don't know. I think
Well-
it scares me that we're celebrating this type of stuff.
You have to
like in that way.
celebrate the. You have to separate your celebration of the culture and what it means for gamers versus corporate bullshit, right? And I think that's
Yeah,
definitely what should be like, hey, no, this really fucking sucks. And it's close to monopoly stuff, like, so it's kind of scary. Versus like, hey, ethically, this might be a good decision, and maybe that's why people are making artwork.
I will also say like a lot of these celebrating the acquisition itself seem to be like the first day or two, but in the days
Yeah,
following, most of the
that's true.
celebration I've
Calm down.
seen has come from like the hey, yeah, fuck Bobby Kotick type of situation.
Yes.
So hopefully people are starting to kind of like realize like, hey, this isn't good. Like there are good aspects of it, but it
Yeah.
is not necessarily the best.
I
Hopefully.
mean, I feel like people were fuck
That's just
Bobby
my
Kotick
opinion.
initially as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that was
Yeah,
the,
I
one
think
of the initial
that's what
reactions as
stayed,
well.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see this as this is the hand we've been dealt, and kind of like there's like a whole other political conversation, but like you have like July 1st and Canada Day, where you're celebrating the countries, even though the countries themselves have done a ton of fucked up shit in the past. And there's an argument: should you celebrate the country? Should you not? Or you could, take the good, because some good things have happened, and acknowledge all the bad things that did happen, and work to improve. So, yes,
That's a
people
good point.
shouldn't be let's go 100% hype on this. It's a very, I think the correct response is just be very reserved, temper your expectations, and see where this goes in a year and a half from now.
it's also the yeah, I'm gonna say here, it's the fanboys, the console wars that like celebrate all this shit all the time, Like one
We're not
side's like,
talking
oh yeah,
about
now
that. I don't.
yeah, we're not talking about that. But I'm just saying, like
Everybody's like,
it's people.
oh, fuck the console wars, and then they mention the console wars, and that just feeds into the
Yep.
console wars. Like, we just don't need to talk about that. I hate that shit.
I hate it too, but it's like it is a big thing in the gaming industry.
Fair.
It's how competition breeds,
I know, but
Like,
if we
I
don't
don't-
mention it, we can just ignore it. All right,
Yeah.
I think
that's what I'd rather do.
my big takeaway question right now is, when do we start seeing games start dropping on Game Pass?
Yeah, so let's talk about like the creative fruits of this
3
of
years.
this acquisition. I mean, at least they said in the interim, like same thing happened with Bethesda. Before the deal even closed, we got games on Game Pass. So that can easily happen now. Like Vanguard will probably end up on Game Pass in a few months, right? Or
You know what?
Overwatch or whatever.
If this gets Ultimate Alliance on Game Pass,
Can we say
I don't
Sekiro?
know about.
I'll
I don't
turn
know
my whole
about
tone.
that.
I'll
Sekiro?
turn my whole
Yeah.
tone around. All right.
I
Sam,
think
I like where
like,
you're going with that, but I don't think so.
I don't think. I don't even think they have like the rights to that anymore. If I'm being honest, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
really
I don't
sure
think
how
it's
that all
not-
works.
I don't
Matt,
think
what do
if
you
it's
got?
on backwards compatibility already, it's not going to be. They were done with that, I believe.
I think we start seeing like the legacy titles maybe this fall. Like new day and date games, maybe 2023, 2024, especially for like the bigger ones. But like I think yeah, like what they did with Bethesda last year when it finalized and they were like, boom, here's everything. Everything's on Game Pass, like
Yep.
Doom, Wolfenstein, etc. I think we'll start seeing that stuff, like the past stuff, maybe this fall. Like because they said the deal theoretically finalizes at the start of the next fiscal year, which would be this summer, right?
Mm,
Anywhere
Next summer.
Or am I
between,
wrong
I think I
there?
Next
read
summer.
anywhere
summer, I
between
believe.
July,
Yes, next summer.
July
Oh, is
and
it next?
October or something.
July 2023, I believe, right? Is like the earliest it could go through.
Yeah.
I
thought that was the
Oh,
latest.
okay. I thought it was for some reason. I thought it was this year. Then yeah, whatever that
No,
year
I
is,
don't think
that's
so.
when I think
I
we'll
still
start to
think
see
though that
legacy stuff.
you could see things leading up to it, like one a month or something of the legacy, because of how we saw, like
Yeah.
Gaff said, Bethesda,
Bethesda.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Now-
they released a cut, like they kind of started to sprinkle the Bethesda games onto Game Pass before the acquisition was like completely finalized.
Right.
So
Well, sure,
we talk about Game
before.
Pass, but like, what about in terms of new games? I mean, we can quickly theorize about this, but what kind of stuff would you like to see with the new,
So-
hopefully freed Activision and Blizzard employees?
So I know I said at the beginning that I don't really like care about the specific games, but like if they make a Spyro game that's only on Xbox, that's gonna bother me a little bit, just slightly.
But you got an Xbox now.
Huh?
Well, you can play it on PC too, actually.
That's true.
Spyro
But it's just
or
gonna be
Crash, like,
weird,
that's
man.
gonna break.
That's true. It's just funny
Like-
that now that Microsoft owns Crash and Spyro, they were once PlayStation mascots.
And that's what I'll say. Thank God that Sly Cooper didn't get that treatment, because then Sly Cooper would be over there. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Well,
But-
I mean, would you rather have that, or would you rather have no Sly games at all?
Yep.
It's a good point.
Hold them hostage.
But Sly was in Ratchet and Clank. All right, we wouldn't have gotten that if it was an Xbox.
Spyro and Crash
right?
were in Skylanders. Is that? Do you want that to happen to Sly? He becomes just a side character.
Yeah, it becomes Sam Fisher, where he's in everything but his own game. That's what I want.
wanna-
the
want a
Slyverse,
new-
all right?
I want a new Tony Hawk game, but
Yep.
it's like he's this current age in real life.
Oh my god.
The entire game, you're doing all this impressive skate stuff, but no one recognizes you. It's like, hey, you're like that Tony Hawk guy, and you're like, that's me, and you're like, no.
But
That's
but
weird.
it's like, but all the tricks are like really slow because he's old.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's just a slowed
exactly.
down version of Tony Hawk.
He has
Yes,
one health
That's
point.
exactly what I want.
I was gonna
If they
say-
do that, I won't complain.
Yeah,
You
if
have
you
to-
like mess up a trick, he just like brutally dies or
It just
something.
goes-
It's a
Game
brutal
over.
death animation.
It blacks out, and then you
Tony
walk out of the
Hawk
hospital.
All right, what I have is now that they have the studios from Activision Blizzard, they don't just have to make Activision Blizzard games. They can also work on anything Microsoft has. So I'm thinking Banjo Kazooie by Toys from Bob.
Yeah.
Toys
Mhm.
for Bob, I mean, really it is.
I hope so. I mean, if
Or-
they can just do a new Banjo Kazooie and make it good, like
Well-
we saw this last year that like old school 3D platformers can make a comeback. Like we got it with Psychonauts. We kind of got it with like Kena Bridge of Spirits in a way, even though it looked amazing, it felt old. Like we can do it. We just
Crash
have to.
Bandicoot was good. It wasn't last year, but it was still good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free Banjo
While
Kazooie.
going,
I'm all for those 2D, or 3D. I'm all
3D
I'm all
with-
for those old 3D platformers, like I feel like we just kind of skimmed over the fact that Sly Cooper is the greatest video game character of all time and that he should have a fifth
Get
game.
it. We get it.
And
but yeah, it's kind of insane because now Microsoft has like the most developers out of the big three. Like they have like I think with like the number was like
Yeah.
32 or something like
In
that.
sheer numbers.
did they
Yeah,
not
sure
already
numbers.
have it?
I don't
They're
I don't
like-
know the exact number that Sony and Nintendo
They're
have.
23
Now-
before.
I think it was definitely more comparable with Sony and Microsoft before, and then Microsoft were just like, "Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
here's like 15 more
'Cause,
studios."
I mean, Bethesda's got quite a few developers, so
Yeah. No, we're not
Um,
even. We're skipping a big part of what with they also acquired King with this deal. Like they can
yeah.
make
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of money in the mobile division.
Is that big
Mobile gaming.
to us?
It,
though?
it, it might not be big to us, but Candy Crush makes a lot of
Dude,
fucking money.
It is gonna be big for them monetarily, like whether or not we care. But
Candy Crush on Game Pass? It's a new
Sure.
open world Candy Crush game
why not?
give me
Fuck it,
achievements,
ASAP.
on Game Pass.
Candy Crush achievements. Yes,
But yeah, no, I'm more thinking that they
Why
have
not?
like I don't know, King make like I don't know, Halo mobile game. I don't fucking know.
No.
Something
No.
like
No,
that.
no.
Look
Dude,
at Call of Duty Mobile. Call of
Halo
Duty Mobile
Crush.
makes a lot of money too. They can do something with that.
You're summoning the devil, Eric.
Yeah, they could.
Hey, you
oh
might
my
not
God.
like it, but it's probably gonna happen.
Fallout Shelter 2. Fallout Shelter 2.
Hey, that's a
Fallout
good game
Shelter
actually.
2.
Okay.
That'd be cool. That's one of the best mobile games based off a video game. I'll put that out right now. And then,
And-
and then the same company went and made Elder Scrolls Blades. What
Oh,
the
no.
fuck?
I tried that game. I'm like, no.
sucks.
I was like, oh shit, Elder Scrolls on mobile. I should try this out. And I tried it
you
out. I
can,
was like,
play, it, you can
no.
play it in landscape or portrait mode.
what?
So,
Good.
you know.
Yeah.
Good
But yeah,
for them.
And-
I want to mention WoW. Do you think I think they'll put it on Game Pass PC? But what about console? Do you think they finally make a console port after all these years?
How do you even do that?
Hey, I'm not the one that asked for that, all right?
You get a wheel. I don't know. You get like
I
a selection
doubt it.
wheel
I
for
feel
like the
like-
I don't know.
spells.
Final Fantasy, like as a resident Final Fantasy
Yeah.
person, that game works well on controller.
yeah. So does DC Universe Online. I mean,
They could do it.
Yeah.
I know
So
that's
even
a
then-
blockbuster
So does Elder
example,
Scrolls Online.
but
And even then, you can connect the keyboard and mouse to the Xbox. So, I mean, if they somehow
That's true.
can't do it, you can just
Mhm.
put a notice in the store, be like, "Hey, keyboard and mouse required for this game." I don't know.
Yeah.
But how do you even work out like the subscription? Is that just gonna become?
No,
Game
that's the
Pass
tricky
subscription
part. Yeah, like,
instead?
do you like give it for free on Game Pass, or do you like offer a
Yeah.
discount? Like, I don't know how that would work.
And like, what happens to
I-
Battle.net? You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I think Battle.net's getting the boot. Maybe not like soon, but maybe like in five years. I think it's done.
I feel like there's no way they get rid of the
No.
subscription for
Maybe
WoW.
the
Like,
expansions
I feel
will
like
be.
WoW. I feel like WoW is big enough where I feel like it kind of stays its separate thing from like the Xbox app.
Because it's
If I had
just
to
so.
guess.
WoW is
but-
old. It's old as shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already baked into
Yeah.
its way. What about like reviving some old IP like Guitar Hero?
Phil
would
Spencer-
love-
didn't Phil make an an
love
interview
Guitar Hero.
about some stuff
Yeah.
he was talking about? And he mentioned Guitar Hero for some reason, which I kind of feel like is a. I don't think it's gonna work out. I think everyone's over that kind of stuff, to be honest.
if
I
they release a
disagree.
new Guitar Hero, I would buy it day one.
Don't
I'll buy it
speak
too.
for me.
Yeah.
That being said, if they do the one that they did Guitar Hero Live, and that
Which-
guitar had like
Which
Yeah.
flopped.
three frets, but 2 buttons on each fret.
And
I did not
Yeah.
like that.
I didn't
That
like
and
was-
that
that's the
either.
thing. Like I remember when they tried to revive like Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and like they didn't do
Well,
too well.
okay.
Like, stores,
Part of the problem with that was because old instruments were not backwards compatible.
Yep.
The consoles themselves weren't backwards compatible as well.
yeah, and the thing is that the stores, like, I feel like they didn't want to carry those big boxes anymore because you can like put so many more games on that in comparison to those big boxes. So I don't know. And plus, who's
How
gonna
many
make the
Funko
instruments?
Pops
Like
you can
Mad
fit
Catz
without
went out of
those
business.
boxes?
Oh yeah, Funko Pops.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
don't know.
solution
There is.
that exists somewhere out there where this model of games can work. Because Guitar Hero is like S tier party game.
All right. If
Um,
they made, I have a question. If they made a Guitar Hero game, what is each of your guys' one song that you would want to be in the playlist?
Mm.
Man, I don't fucking. I'm gonna do a confession. I haven't really played much Guitar Hero. I was more of a Rock Band guy.
There
Would
we
have done
go.
by
That's
Or,
a-
Lincoln-
or if they made
oh.
a new rock band, either one.
Well, I mean, we bought Rock Band a couple years ago, and we didn't fucking play it. I'm gonna be honest.
I
My
want
favorite
Don't
song
Stop
on-
Me Now by Queen.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
Yeah, I'm
my
gonna go with
go-to
the
song
classic.
on Guitar Hero was What I've Done by Linkin Park.
That's a good song.
I'm gonna go with the classic "Eye of the Tiger." I guess I played that song a lot in Rock Band too.
Yeah, just throw on Blink 182's entire catalog. That's all I want.
honestly, oh god, they should just make a rock band Blink 182, just like they
That'd be
did with the Beatles.
Yeah.
The Beatles, they did it with Aerosmith.
Aerosmith was good for Guitar Hero. I like-
Maybe that was just Guitar Hero. Yeah.
my request would have been, I don't know, it's stupid, but it carries a lot of weight with me for Guitar Hero is Through the Fire and Flames.
Yep.
Yep. I remember breaking an orange button on my guitar because of that song. So
I remember I would rubber band the green button
Yeah,
down and just use my other four.
and you just finger tapping on the other.
Yeah.
But
Something-
it only worked for the intro, and then you would have to pause it because any for the double frets.
And
you'd
if
have
you
to take
missed,
off the rubber band.
Yeah. Oh, God.
you
Oh, yeah,
missed
if
the
you missed
initial
route.
strum, you're done. Like
Yeah.
Something with my fingers, I could only play on easy because I just couldn't do that extra button.
slide bar was helpful.
But,
Guitar did not click with my brain.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But drums on Rock Band and Guitar Hero World Tour though, I can nail that.
Oh, that was
Drums?
good, dude.
Drums
Drums.
are hard. I just don't have the beat for that crap.
Yeah,
Now you put me on you put me on vocals. We're gonna rock out.
Right,
We're
right.
gonna rock out.
Yeah.
I rocked out to Eye of the Tiger so many times.
dude, that would be fun for like a little party mode kind of thing, right? We
Wait, but doesn't
finally
Epic owns I forget the developer's name, but they own the Rock
Harmonix?
Band devs now. Yeah,
Yeah.
Harmonix.
Oh.
I
And
hope they
haven't
do
really
some
done anything with them.
cool music stuff, like because they, Fortnite's really into that music stuff, so I'm hoping they implement it well. But
We went from Guitar Hero to Rock Band, which is a totally
Well-
different company.
well, okay, so back to topic. I think though, like for me, the game that I would want most probably from all this is they had a canned like StarCraft game that was like third person stealth,
Yeah.
I believe. Ghost, if I'm right.
Mhm.
I want to see that. I want to see what that could have been because it sounded awesome and it got canned and I was sad when I heard about it. So because I really like the StarCraft like mythos, so
Yeah.
I'd be super into another non-RTS StarCraft game.
How about a new Transformers game?
Oh my
Right.
god, yeah.
If they could make a good Transformers game, I'd play it.
They did already. The High Moon, right?
Oh.
Was it High Moon that did the Transformers game? Cybertron, War for Cybertron. I
War for
think?
Cybertron?
Yeah,
I never played that one. I'll be honest. Was that a good one though?
I think
People loved it, man.
Cool.
But yeah, does anyone else have anything left to say? Final thoughts? Okay, I guess we can reiterate our final stances on this acquisition. Me personally, I'm leaning towards the more positive side. I am, truth be told, I am hyped about this. I'm hyped about all the games that come in Xbox because as an Xbox fanboy, this is nothing but good for me. I do feel bad for those that are missing out on PlayStation, and I am hopeful about the culture, and I'm also accepting that this is just a natural consequence of the way money flows on this earth. So that's my stance. What about you guys?
Well, I just want to mention a game real quick. I don't know how this would work since it's like a licensed game, but like the PS2, I don't know if it was on PS2. I know it was on GameCube. A little game called Shrek 2 came out.
Oh yeah,
And that game was amazing. And it is an Activision game. And like Toys for Bob, come on. Just remake Shrek 2. Remake Shrek 2.
Shrek's gonna be part of the Microsoft family now.
Oh god, he is
We're
green.
just gonna
Green.
include him in the banjo game.
this is my swamp.
But yeah, like I said, I'm a little like makes me uneasy when one big company buys another company. But there are obviously some hopefully positives about this. I'm just not. I don't have a lot of hope. I'm pretty negative. So, when it comes to this type of thing, yeah, hopefully things will change at Activision Blizzard. That's the biggest thing for me is hopefully there will be a culture change. I think, yes, while we all have our opinions, I think the most important opinions are the people that are working at Activision Blizzard and what they have to say.
Which at the current
So-
moment it seems to be positive. Like they're kind of hopeful.
So
Yeah.
I think if you're listening to this, I think you need to, well, thank you for listening, but I think you also need to go search for see if you can find voices coming from, workers at the company, because I think that's the most important, opinion right now is from the workers who are going through this acquisition.
Steven, what's your stance?
So yeah, I'm middle of the water, right? Company's gonna company, right? But I'm not celebrating that. I guess I'm 60-40 because ultimately, like Sam said, it's the employees that matter here. That's top thing. Like video games, whatever, but people's lives are being affected in whatever way we don't know yet. QA could get canned and they just get another non-union place, like you said, and that's bad, and that makes me nervous. However, if there's a culture shift after being bought and Kotick is out, in fact, like they say, when it's finalized, awesome. That's an awesome thing, and I'm hopeful for that. I am a cheap gamer too, so I'm hopeful for all the Blizzard games that are coming to Game Pass. I do hope WoW does get wrapped into it somehow, because I'd like to play it again just to see like kind of where it's at and if it still holds any relevance, honestly. Because it's kind of fallen out to Final Fantasy 14, which is not a bad thing, but I want to see new creative IP, like we mentioned before. I'm hopeful for that as well, because that's been mentioned in quite a few interviews between Spencer and many of the other outlets that have been doing the hard work that you see out there. So give your, like they said, on Kind of Funny, but give your favorite like news outlet a pat on the back for putting in the legwork and getting the stories for us to blab about. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it does come down to company against wild company. Workers matter most. Maybe more video games.
Eric?
Yeah, I just want to disclaimer this by saying like we're not experts. We're not like news industry analysts. We're just like 5 gamers here, so we're just giving our opinions on this. But like I agree with Sam and Steven, like if it's better for the employees at Activision Blizzard, that's the best thing that can possibly happen out of this. As a gamer, like I said, I'm excited for those games to be on Game Pass. But at the same time, as like the person who likes looking at the news every day on gaming, like I am a little worried about corporate consolidation. I am worried that Sony might retaliate or something, and I'm worried that we'll have less companies to put out stuff on other platforms. Like I said, if Sony buys Square Enix, which I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Sony has the money to do a big acquisition like that. But if it ever did happen, I'd be scared, especially for Nintendo, because Nintendo also relies on Square Enix as well. Like they're like one of their biggest publishers on that platform. I think. But yeah, excited to see like where this change, like what changes happen over like the course of the couple years, because I don't think all of this is gonna happen immediately. Like we're still gonna probably see games come on PlayStation. We got to see like what they got to do in a couple years, like like with the Bethesda acquisition. We still haven't seen much of that, to be honest. So we just got to give it a few years. I'm sure we're gonna report more on this stuff like whenever more news comes out. So just keep an eye out on us, I guess. There's a lot that the year just started. There's gonna be a lot more news.
Matt Grover.
All right, and honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat as all of you guys. Like, I'm excited for, or at least interested in, like what this means for Game Pass, what this means for new or returning IP, what this means for the culture at Activision Blizzard. Like, I think that all could lead to really good things, whether it's for the workers or for gamers. What I'm not kind of excited about is, yeah, like the first of all, corporate acquisition, large scale like this is, for me, there's like, even though good can come out of it, it doesn't lead to a lot of good in the long term. I'm also not excited about, yeah, what this means for PlayStation and Nintendo down the line, and what this means for third-party publishers in general, or third-party developers in general, because, yeah, like, if Activision Blizzard was the most expensive one to buy, that means any of them are on the table. And, well, if that is the road, pessimistically viewing, that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony keep going down, Then, when all of those are taken up, well, what happens with indies and what happens with Annapurna and stuff like smaller stuff like that? And I know I'm like 10 years ahead of myself here, but like
Possible.
I can't help but think about like what does this mean long term for smaller developers and stuff like that.
Listen here, if anybody touches Annapurna in any way that I deem violent, I will come down to their office and yell at them.
Yeah.
I'll be mad.
You think it'll like
I
just
will
mimic?
tweet at them some very strong words.
I will tweet at them
Very
to leave my independent baby alone.
Exactly.
You think it might just end up mimicking the movie industry, where theaters only have Disney, Marvel, Star Wars movies, and
Yeah, isn't that great? Don't
Then
you
you have,
love
like,
that every
they have-
Marvel movie's the same exact thing over and over again and over and
You-
over and over and
well,
over and
well.
over?
you're gonna
Yeah,
have
I'm
like the
part of
Martin
the problem, to be
Scorsese's.
honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, so am I.
You have the Martin Scorsese's of the game
Nice
industry.
cut.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, Halo, Last of Us, Horizon. That's not art. My little tiny indie game. That's art." But I guess that wraps up our thoughts on the Activision Blizzard acquisition.
Yeah.
It's a very enjoyable discussion. I was looking forward to this all week, and I'm glad to have finally done it. Before we wrap this up, Matt Grover, why don't you tell us about what you got going on your side?
So a lot of what I've got going on is actually still in the works. I'm starting a new visual novel, not visual novel, visual like essay series, video essay series on YouTube. I'm gonna get back into Twitch starting tomorrow, streaming with Spider-Man PS4 on twitch.tv/GameGuyGrover. My Twitter, always check me out there. I never shut up on Matt Grover EN. And yeah, other than that, like I have stuff working for a potential podcast ×2, so we'll see where that goes, but I'll announce more stuff on Twitter when that gets more solidified.
Very good. So thank you everyone for joining us today on a very special episode 42 of X Interact. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Watch our YouTube Shorts. Follow our podcast on all your podcast feeds to listen to us, and follow our individual Twitters if you want to keep up with us. But until next week, we have been Gaff, Sam, Steven, Eric, and our special guest Matt. Thank you and goodbye.
Real quick, just want to plug it again. I made a new website over the weekend for us. It's simple right now, but if we get decent traction on it, I might upgrade it to a more like sophisticated website. It's podpage.com/x to interact. I'm trying to congregate all our stuff into one area. So if you want to just check it out and leave us like a review or something. Well, I don't think you can leave on the review website yet, but let me know how it is. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Do that.
See you next week.